Tools, part 2. Hey guys, Matt McNaney, Flat Fender Crawlers RC. Just want to continue on the tool trend. Let's talk about a few more basic tools that you really should have when you take on this hobby. We got a set of calipers, digital calipers, Pittsburgh brand, Harbor Freight, love it, works great. Millimeters, inches, fractions. You don't need to go get crazy expensive calipers. Get you a good set, have it in your toolbox. Absolute necessity. With that, speed square. I use my speed square all the time when I'm building things. Definitely something to have. Again, we talked earlier today about tools, expensive tools, cheap tools, tools that work. I am all about getting what works. I do not care what brand it is. I don't care how much it costs. I care about the outcome. I want something that works. For what we're doing, my Harbor Freight calipers, my Harbor Freight speed square, perfect. I don't need anything more than that. I've had these calipers for years. I have to replace the battery every year. Other than that, I've never had an issue with them. And I'm going to stick with them because I have no reason not to. We talked about nut drivers earlier. I forgot about these guys. I don't know how to say this. Excuse me. Wera? W-E-R-A? I'm not sure. I'm sure I butchered the name. But a quality set of nut drivers is very important if you run scale hardware on your wheels. Something that I learned the hard way is that you have to pay for quality drivers if you're running scale hardware. There is no option. You just can't get away with cheap drivers. They strip the heads. It's just not worth it. It is not worth it. Find a quality set of nut drivers for your scale hardware. Locked Up RC sells some. I've got some of theirs as well. I used for a long time. It worked great. But I wanted a complete set, so I bought this set as well. Look into that. Definitely need to get yourself a quality set of nut drivers. Lexan shears. Wow. Very, very inexpensive and very, very, very handy to have when you are cutting a Lexan body. I tried for years to cut Lexan bodies without Lexan shears. And wow, what a stupid choice that was. I picked up these years ago. I think I got them from A-Main. Doesn't matter where you get them. Find yourself a set of Lexan shears. Put those in your toolbox. You need those. Regular scissors. You're always cutting stuff. I have this little set. I use it all the time, actually. So keep a set of scissors on. Hobby knives and razor blades. You're always going to need a box cutter. If you're like me, we are constantly ordering stuff online, getting parts delivered. Keep a box cutter in your toolbox. It is nice to have your box cutter there for when you're opening boxes, opening packages, opening things that are not important to be very precise. Keep a box cutter in there. Then you got hobby knives. Early on in life, I ran these disposable Testers brand hobby knives. I'm not sure why I stuck with them for as long as I did, but I did. I would buy them, I'd use them, and then when they'd go bad, I'd throw it out and I'd get another. Why, I don't know, but I did. Just, 2 years ago, I started getting these hobby knives that you can replace the blade in. That was life-changing for me. Why it took me so long to do it, I have no idea. Again, but just spend the extra few dollars. Buy yourself a nice hobby knife because you need it. You're going to use it. We're working with hobby grade stuff. Buy a good knife. You just have to have it. Body reamer. How many of you drilled holes in your Lexan bodies with a drill bit? I know that some of you are guilty. I was guilty for a long time. You know, we're talking Lexan bodies. You know, what I do with the Willys stuff, those are not Lexan bodies, but doesn't matter. We're talking right now basic tools that everybody needs to have in their toolbox. If you're in the RC hobby, you need a body reamer. Get one. Small hammer. Look at this cute little thing. 10-ounce hammer. Comes in very handy all the time. I use it often. I don't even remember where I got it. Not entirely sure. Doesn't matter. Get yourself a cheap hammer. We're not building houses here. We're building tiny trucks. Tiny trucks, you're not going to need to beat on something that hard that you need an expensive hammer. And with that hammer, get yourself a punch set. Get a long punch set because you're going to need it. These are really nice for taking bearings out of axles, bearings out of transmissions. They are nice for all kinds of things. Get yourself a long-handled and long shank punch set and a small, cheap hammer. Have that in your toolbox. Something that you're definitely going to need. One more thing. I like to have a long ruler. This is metric, all in millimeters. I keep it in the top drawer of my toolbox. I use this when I am building links, when I'm cutting stainless rod to build links for my Willys builds. I lay it out here on top of my workbench like this. Lay out my round stock. Take my measurement. Cut it. Definitely get yourself a decent ruler to have with you. That's all I got for tonight, guys. We're going to do one more basic tool video. We're going to touch base on soldering stations. That will be up next. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. I appreciate you guys. Have a great night.